Hello YouTube, how are you? I haven't posted a video in a while, maybe for 2 weeks. Sorry about it. The problem was that my laptop had crashed after my Windows 10 update. Well, this could be due to a problem in the hard disk in the partition where Windows was installed. So I am not blaming Windows yet, and this is not a window bashing. And because you see Linux in my desktop, Linux praising video. But anyway, I installed Linux Mint because I had not used Linux for a while, and this is the closest you can get to Windows in a Linux distro environment. Um, well, Linux has gone quite the distance since the last time I used it on my personal computer, um, and I kind of like it. And my Windows license is not going anywhere anyway, so I decided to stick around, try it, and maybe it will be worthwhile to review it in the future. Um, and in the meantime, then I had to fix my environment about recording the screen and recording my mobile phone screen and etc. I had to decide and build how I was going to do it in this new environment. Anyway, um, this video is for a problem that I solved in Linux that I was not able to solve in Windows for years altogether. You see this cursor of my touchpad. This was really shaky and very sensitive. And a brief history of this device: this is a Lenovo E330 and I bought it in 2013. It came pre-installed with Windows 8, and then Microsoft had given upgrades Windows 8.1 and Windows 10. But through all these years, I could not solve one problem with this touchpad. That was the um, unpredictable sensitiveness of this cursor. Sometimes you try to either when you try to close the window, maximize the window, or you are trying to drag the control somewhere, it was just behaving a little crazy sometimes. And I tried updating all the drivers. I tried following what Lenovo recommended. I searched in the internet for solutions and tried with whatever limited options we have in Windows control panel, but none of it could actually fix the problem. And while I was in Linux, I am in Linux, I remembered that in Linux you could pass parameters to device drivers, and I wanted to see if that would solve the problem. So I found plenty of information in the internet, but again I could not find a place where all of it is logically arranged, and where somebody who is not really so much into Linux can fix this problem. I do not consider myself as a very regular Linux user. I probably use it very sparsely, and um, for the applications that I use, they are not really day-to-day applications. So yeah, in terms of desktop environment, I would consider myself not so experienced user. Anyway, because as I told you that this is very similar to Windows, so let me show you that here also there is something like a control panel, and you can go to mouse and touchpad, and even here the sensitivity option, the acceleration option, both in mouse and touchpad section, I tried all these options, but even with that I could not solve this problem. I mean, I tried it for at least for 3-4 days, trying different combinations. I just tried to understand if that was the reason behind the wobbliness. But again, probably this is a limitation of GUI control of devices, and maybe they don't really affect the driver parameters. I do not know, but it was more or less like Windows. I mean, I tried several changes here, but it did not work. But then I went through some resources in internet, and then I figured out a way in which it could be fixed, and eventually I was able to apply that fix. So let me open a terminal and show you what I mean here. First of all, Xinput list, this is going to show you your input devices and the drivers associated. So in my case it is the Syn PS2 Synaptics touchpad driver. In case you are not sure, what you can do is you can say x input test 11, and then when I move my cursor you can see the attributes are changing, so I know that that's the correct one. Okay, and then I can see the properties of this driver. So I say x input sorry, x input list props and then 11, the driver ID. So here you can see these are the properties that are supported by this driver and the values assigned to them, values, or as they say, options. By the way, you can always go to, and I'm using Ubuntu manuals because Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu, and this is the manual page for Synaptics driver, and you can read more about it here, and there use that page to understand what these options what these options actually mean and what these parameters mean. So here if you scroll down, these are the options. I'm going to show you the option that I used. So I used finger low and finger high. I changed these options in the property that is called Synaptics finger. So finger low means below that value the touchpad does not consider your touch a valid touch, and finger high is the value above which the touchpad considers your touch a valid and intended touch, and they are part of the property of this driver. So Synaptics driver, and the property is Synaptics finger. And this is the property, and this is 32 bits, has 3 values: low, high and press. Press is again the value where it considers, the touchpad considers it a press and not a touch. So this is the property we are talking about here. So you can see this property here also. Synaptics finger, you can see 30, 45, 0. So the values assigned to finger low is 30, high is 45, and press is 0. So you can edit these properties at a runtime, and I will try to I fixed my problem, but maybe you may be facing another problem related to some other property here. So we will talk it in a more generic sense. So for example, if you have problems with two finger scrolling, then you can check what are the options of two finger scrolling, and then you can try it. And you can try these manipulating these values on the fly to check which value is working for you. So you can say x input and then set prop 11, and we know the value, property Synaptics finger, and then you pass the values. Let's say I will pass the value that was there before I edited it. It was 25, 30 and 0. Okay, and then if I list the properties again, you can see the values have changed now. Now if I move around the cursor, then it's updated, the values are updated to these values. So then I will revert back to the values that I am currently using. So it is 35, 45, 0, and again you can see if it is updated or not. I want to see if it is updated or not. So you can see the values are updated. So if you are having problem with any property, what you can do is you can go to the manual you can try different values on the fly here. So I concluded on these values 35, 45, um, because I changed them on the fly, and then I decided which value suited my profile the most. And this is very nice considering the fact that our profile, our hand profile on the laptop may be very different. I mean, I could be applying more pressure on this touchpad when I'm navigating or scrolling, and you could be applying less pressure. So this really gives us the insight of benefits of using an open source operating system where you can pass parameters to the driver. And I tried fixing these problems from GUI both in Windows as well as in Linux, and still it was not solved. Anyway, so if you apply a fix like this on the runtime, so till the time you boot your system, your fix will be there. But as soon as you reboot your PC, these changes will be gone. You will again see the default values. So to make the changes permanently, you need to create a small file with these parameters, and you need to put it in a certain folder. Okay, and the folder has to be, let me show you what I have created there. Let's go to cd, or we will do directly gedit root etc x11 then xorg.d, and then the file was xorg.conf. Yeah, I will open it as read only. Remember, if you want to edit the file, pass a sudo, and in that case you will have to give the administrative password after it. I just have to show you the file, so I will only enter gedit. So this will open the file in gedit. Here you can see, and again these formats are as per the specification given here in this manual web page. So I say section is input device, identifier is finger. The identifier is well, it's a silly name. Identifier is finger, not Synaptics finger, because with Synaptics finger it did not work. So if you wanted to change, for example, 2 finger pressure, do not write Synaptics 2 finger pressure, only write 2 finger pressure, just the way the name is here. So I write identifier is finger, match driver Synaptics, means Synaptics is the driver, then option finger high 45, option finger low 30, and then I write end section as per the format that is described in the manual page. You need to be very careful about these names: name of the identifier, match driver, name of the option. Linux is very case sensitive, so all of these needs to be spelled correctly. And yeah, for example, here if you try to apply a floating point number, probably it will fail because it's an integer value as per the manual. Here it says it's an integer, so don't use a floating point value there, it will not work. And then place this file here. In the terminal you can see where I have the file. The file is in etc root etc x11. This is a folder that I had to create. This folder does not exist, so you need to create a folder in this name, and then create this file and put your edited content. How did I know this? I got to know this because there is a template of this file already present, that is present in this directory. If you go to root, and then if you go to user, share, and then you go to x11, and then you go to this xorg.conf.d, there you will find a file 50 Synaptics, exactly the same file name. If you open it, this describes it. So you do not edit this file, because every time your operating system updates, this file will be overwritten. So you need to create this folder. As you saw, I created a folder already there, and then I I created this folder, I copied this file and put it inside that folder with the description that I gave you. I will reopen the file just once again to show you. So this was our file. I just removed what I did not need, and then I applied this fix. So after you do this, every time, it doesn't matter if you reboot your PC, then you can check the properties again with the commands that I just showed. You will see that the values are updated. Okay, and as I said, you could be having the problem with the touchpad regarding some other property, so you can try it. um, if As I said, you need to be very careful with the cases, uppercase, lowercase of the property of the option, and then you need to be careful about the values you are assigning. These descriptions are already present in the manual page that I will drop in the description. In case you run into a problem, what you need to do is you just need to go to etc x11 and delete this folder with its contents, or just delete that file. Then in that case, and just reboot, then in that case everything will be back to normal. But if you use the naming correctly and if you assign proper values, then everything should be fine. You can drop me a question in the comment section if you face any problem related to it. I will try to help you out. If you like this video, do hit the like button. I loved making this video. Thank you very much, and talk to you next time. Bye bye and take care.